Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Comic Monte, where we talk comics of a theme and supposedly give ourselves a score, but that's a little bit more of a afterthought. So with me today is Chris Nelms of CBSI's Fisherman's Tale article and Rumor Had It, as we were in the comic shutdown. We also have Mike Morello of Cover Tunes. We have Peter Renna, who is doing dollar bin digging. And Ben C. is still from the bunker in parts unknown, who has started a couple new articles on the site the past couple of weeks. Top Variant Tuesday, highlighting variants, and Two for Tuesday, which is based on homage covers. So check it out. Compares the original to a newer version. His newer is way different than our newer, but
I think you go for he could have like hundreds on the one he just did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what's our theme tonight again?
Robots.
We're gonna do robots. So robots tonight. Chris, we tweaked the rules a little bit. Do you want to kind of go over those?
So most of the rules are staying the same. We're still giving 1 point for the book itself being on topic, and then you get 2 points for the cover being related to the topic. You also get 2 points for having the book in hand. The final points are basically if everyone's tied or most versus tied, which has been the case outside of a couple of weeks ago when Peter decided to go for a non-jungle book for his jungle
book.
Okay,
the cover was questionable.
But we're gonna instead of being value, because some of us can't compete when you're talking Golden Age and Silver Age as quite as easily. We're going to sort of decide what is the coolest book of the group. What book was the surprise book or the most amazing book that we pull out? So a few weeks ago, Mike had the Moon Knight random Comic-Con cover. That probably should have won that week just because we had never seen it before. And so rarity might have more value. So we're ready to go now. So
yeah, we call it the mind-blowing point.
Mind-blowing point. Okay, I like that.
All right.
So let's go ahead and start with Mike tonight.
All right. I'm going to probably go with something that you all expected. If you know anything about me at all, I went straight Star Wars, but I went a little off. Went a little off. I went to droids. And I chose this particular one because it's the final issue and it's the scarce issue.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the low print one. This also happens to be the newsstand, which is even rarer. But even still, even in this kind of a rarity, it's still not all that expensive a book. It's just tough to find, and it's tough to find in good shape. But this thing only lasted 8 issues. This is issue 8. I love this particular cover. I love that R2-D2's colored all wrong.
Oh wow!
But it's great. I think it's an Ernie Cologne cover or Colon cover. I'm not sure how you say the last name. I assume it's Cologne. But I like the lightsaber clash kind of going on in it too. It just has cool color and
they're even a little off on the color.
Yeah, it's like kind of pink lightsaber and sort of baby blue, and I know it's a little strange, but I mean, I chose this because I really loved. I mean, with comic books and toys, I also love cartoons. And I watched this, which was in tandem with the Ewoks cartoon. They were back to back. I think they were like 15 or 20 minutes a piece for a full half hour kind of a thing. I loved watching those cartoons. I really did. I was a huge Star Wars geek, obviously, but that was like my kid entry into Star Wars. So when I saw that there were comics for those, I went kind of nuts and went to grab them. So, I mean, I grabbed the rare one, but I mean, even still, it's just a representation of a really fun kid series, and I don't go to that well.
It's a great cover.
Yeah, did they have the droids? I know the Ewoks had one. The square, and the little characters all around it, and the headshot in the middle. The droids have an issue like that.
There's not a
no.
Yeah, no, there's not a droids one like that. No.
Okay,
the anniversary frame thing.
Yeah, the anniversary frame.
Did it not?
Yeah,
make it
like Care Bears and all the
Care Bears, Heathcliff,
Transformer one.
New Mutants, Transformers, G.I. Joe.
Yeah. No, there was never a droids one
because it didn't make enough issues.
I don't think it was.
I assume that's why.
Yeah.
Different time, but the
droids. Yeah, these are 80. It's not going to tell me, is it? Damn you, Marvel.
It's like 85, 86. I think
I think
the dollar
85
stuff
through
is
87,
later.
I think.
It's a little later.
Yeah.
I think it's like 75 a dollar cover issues.
Issue 1 is 85. I think this one's 87. Let me check right now.
86.
80. It should be 86, but I don't think it is. I think it happens to be. Yeah, it's 87.
Was there a huge
Obviously,
gap in them?
There must have been. There must have been, yeah. Maybe it was
that's what
every
makes
2 months.
the last one rarer too.
It could be, yeah. There could be a gap between 7 and 8. This could just be like a leftover story kind of a thing.
Marvel publishes
Not
on
really
a DC
sure.
time frame.
It reminds me of that classic. There's that classic lightsaber cover, isn't there? There's that
from the
cover,
regular
but in
Star Wars
Marvel
run.
one, the only reason I know that is because they used it. They homaged it on a Grateful Dead CD release that they did. They do these like 3,500 print run Dead releases. Oh man, it's wild. It's like $500.
I love that. That's one of the best covers from that Marvel run too, in my opinion. I think it's a great cover.
Oh,
It's got a really cool background. Similar background too. It's got sort of that sort of hash marked background.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's yellowy or tan in the background, but with lots of like rainbowish kind of stuff going. It's really awesome. Yeah.
All right. We're going to jump to Peter. See what he's got tonight.
All right. What do I got next? I mean, apart from having my droid.
Look at you. You
my
carried
droid
well.
Doctor Who mashup on my shirt.
Nice. Cool.
But yeah, like I said, I got the anniversary cover there. And I threw a droids up just for fun. I just threw up some somewhat related.
I had that ROM book in hand at one point.
Yeah, it's the
That
last issue.
Dinobot cover is fantastic.
That one's hard to find.
Yeah.
But
I
the
thought
book
about that
picked
too.
is a modern book. I went with the Ultron. I just love this Ultron cover. I mean, it's not
that's
worth
cool.
much, but I just really like this shot of Ultron. I wasn't sure of the art. I had to look it up. I don't actually know Alexei Briclot. I don't know if I'm saying it right. But yeah, that's who did this cover. But I just liked it.
What issue in the Conquest is
that's
that?
Conquest number 5.
5, right before the
6.
Okay.
6 is the issue that I think is worth the most because it's the first modern Guardian team up.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago I wrote about it for Rumor Had It. So
yeah, but this guy right here, I don't know. I just love this cover.
That's a good cover.
I thought Ultron when we said robot. I'm like Ultron, but I don't have a big shot.
That's beautiful.
Ultron book, so I went with this one.
I like that.
Nice. All right,
Very cool.
Mr. C, what do you got for us tonight?
All right.
Yeah, boy.
I stepped. I didn't step outside the box. I stayed right in my lane. So outside of horror, like we were talking about it the other night, certain people collect certain things for Golden Age. One of the other things I collect, besides Batman and horror, is first issues. So when Robots came up, I immediately grabbed this.
Oh my good
Classic.
Lord, that's awesome.
50s style robot.
That's ridiculous. It's a 1950 Avon.
Out of this world #1. I mean, I've seen it, but I don't see it often.
What's a trip is there's I don't know if it's like a variant or a reprint, but it's the same exact book, but instead of June, there's just nothing.
Huh.
Yeah. So there's other ones of those that exist with other Avon books that I think are from the 60s, not the 50s.
Any idea who did the art on that?
Oh, Christ.
No, I don't think so. It doesn't look like anyone made your style.
No, it's signed, too. It's signed Fawcett. Yeah, it's signed Fawcett, but I'm not... I couldn't pretend to be like, yeah, that's blah, 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 outside of that is the he or she who did this cover.
Wait, was
That's
there only
cool.
actually one issue of the Avon?
No, I think there's 10 or 12.
Okay.
There's a couple Avon ones that really didn't have many issues. Like Rocket Man had, 2?
Yeah, like, so that's the thing where it gets weird, right? Like, when you start getting into the weird 1950 Avon stuff that, like...
Yeah, it's just...
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, Chris, there is only one issue.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Different run.
So
All
very
right.
cool.
My comic shop was listing that no date as a second print.
Okay.
Yeah, but it has the what is the publishing date? It says
It
second
just has
print.
no cover date on their listing.
Yeah, but like the publisher date, the indicia date, or however you say that.
August 1950.
Right, and this book is from August 1950 as well.
But the
So
first
they
one
say-
they listed as the June 1950, and then the second one is August.
Huh.
Oh Jesus!
I was trying to find the artist by going there.
Now you don't have
Yeah,
the first.
no, that's-
You suck. You got the
No, I
second.
do have the. I had no.
He doesn't
I
have
have.
the first.
I got two. Okay.
He's got the rare second print variant.
I bet no. I mean, so that's the question. Like, it'd be interesting to. What did you say, Peter? MCS.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how they list the other stuff that's definitely from the 60s,
Mm-hmm.
but it'll have the same cover with the 10-cent thing. Anyway, I learn something new every day.
So we argued before the show, and I really didn't think about this pick until now, as I have it. And we argued cyborg and robot and android, and I realized I picked something outside of all of that.
A Black Knight or something.
Oh,
Which is a
that's
mech.
great.
Yeah.
So,
So it's controlled
Yeah,
by.
Mech's a robot, right?
yeah, this is
Yeah.
a classic issue, first issue. I mean, BattleTech was huge for a while. I mean,
Yeah.
just massive. So this is one of the first ones I thought of. And again, I think it counts close enough to robot that we're okay.
Oh, 100%. If somebody, I don't want to spoil any picks, but
Yeah.
there's something that I thought of that I was like, oh, that definitely counts if somebody uses it.
So
So what is that? When did that come out?
was this 86? I want to
80s.
say.
Yeah, I think it's 86.
Yeah, I won't.
That's a great book.
Very nice.
Yeah, I've picked up several of these because there's always rumors that this one's kind of in development, but it's just such a part of my childhood. I just remember it. Playing the game,
Yeah, me
watching the
too.
show, all of it. So
No, I'm the worst. It's 1984, John. Sorry.
84. Damn, I said 86. So that's all
I
right.
agree with you.
It's a little out of your date range, so it's okay. We're outside the 50.
I loved Robotech, man. Love that
Still a good
stuff.
book.
All right, Chris,
All right. So
what do you got?
This is one I didn't choose, but I wanted to share it. It's the new fad is those connecting covers.
Yeah.
And so they did this. Spider Woman had this connecting cover thing, and J. Scott Campbell did the covers.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you put them all together, and dead center, there's a robot. So I can just hold the top two. You see a robot, and this is the
Oh, no
robot.
shit.
And so if you get all
man.
together, it's freaking awesome. Like in the bottom two, it's one of those I don't have enough fingers and hands to hold it all up. Wrong way. So you can sort of see it forms this giant robot fight, and it's a pretty cool, fun story. It crosses over Silk and Spider-Gwen, but I'm not really choosing that. I was randomly doing eBay searches, like, oh, that makes a robot right smack in the middle. The one I actually chose, or one of the ones I actually chose. And this probably, I'm not sure if I'll actually run into butt some heads with Mike and Peter here, but X-Men 98. When I think of robots, I think of the Sentinels.
Yeah, I thought of Sentinels too, but I don't have their first.
So, well, this is not their first.
No, I know, but I was looking for their first.
Yeah, this is the cover I think of though, when I think of the Sentinels. I think this one, and then is it 202 or 203 that has like them fighting as well. But this is probably my favorite cover. This is not great condition one I have, but this is, there's Colossus and you got Storm, Wolverine. So this is the X-Men that we love fighting the Sentinels. Because if you go to the first appearance, I'm not a big fan of that cover as much.
No, it's like
14?
14, 15, somewhere in that range.
Is that the one?
14.
It looks like weird hands coming out with the giant head.
Yeah, it's not the
but
best.
it's got that gorgeous
Mike's got a
red.
grin on his face, like he's like, that was the next one coming.
It's got that gorgeous red cover, and it comes right after the Juggernaut.
Yeah.
And like
I'm next, right?
that run breaks it up so nice because it has, before we go to book 2,
Before we go to
well, I know Mike just wants to be like, Sentinels, what up, fuckers?
Yeah.
That run, that Sentinel cover, I agree. The 98 is far superior, but the 14,
Yeah.
like, Jesus, you can't get any more. I'm preemptively alley-ooping you, Mike.
That's fine.
He's trying.
No way I don't have to talk.
Classic. Like, you can't get any more classic, like, 60s Merry Marvel Marching Society, whatever the hell it was called. Like, that's got that vibe.
We should let you show it.
You mean that one?
Oh,
Okay, well, there it
that's
is,
a
because
good
I did
book.
choose it. Yeah. And I mean, this is really hard to get in good shape. I don't know why. I guess it's the red, but every time I find this book, or every time I found this book before, it was always beat to hell. I managed to get myself a pretty decent copy of it. I love this cover. I mean, it's, I think it's Kirby pencils and Wally Wood inks. I mean,
really?
This is just classic stuff going on. I think if I'm not mistaken, yeah. But yeah, there it is. But you're right.
It's not the Sentinels from the X-Men Adventures. Like those.
Yes, and
that's the one I fell in love with.
Yeah.
So.
And me too, and that's when I got it. I mean, I went backwards and read these later. Of course, I wasn't alive, despite what the beard may say. But I mean, yeah, I did the same thing. So when I think Sentinels, I think the image of what's on your, what's that number 98 that you showed?
Yeah, 98.
And that's what I think of the same thing, and I think of those those cartoons. But I don't know. I love that cover too.
You think Kirby, and you can't argue Kirby. Like,
yeah, I mean, he just is what he is. It's just classic stuff. I mean, I love the colors on that.
Now,
as well, the red pops. And
would it still be valued by you? Like, was that a cover you sought out? I know you're a huge X-Men guy.
I think probably because it was a key, sort of a minor key I did, and I wanted to get something that, that wasn't a beater. But I mean, sometimes you just don't get a choice. It just like my X-Men 4 is a beater because it had to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, but yeah, I mean, in this case, I thought, well, it's sort of a B-level key. I should be able to get one in halfway decent shape, so I'm going to sort of hold out and wait, because I ran across 2 or 3 that were really messed up in a shop that you and I both frequent, and I skipped them both times and waited. Wow. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Peter, let's throw it to you.
Well, then I'm glad I didn't have that one. Otherwise, I would get it there. I looked, but the X-Men books I have in the teens, I don't have that one. And I tried to actively avoid X-Men because I've done it the first 2 weeks. So this time, I wanted to do another book, but I could not find my Transformers 5, which is that Shockwave cover.
Yeah.
I almost chose that.
I couldn't find it. I looked and looked, but I could not find it. So I went with a store variant.
Because
I love
that Jon Gallagher cover. This Soundwave was just awesome.
That's great. I also don't have the Sienkiewicz one either, which is also awesome.
Oh, me too. Same. But this one, I missed out on the Prime. He did the first 4 for this series. I missed out on the Prime, but once I saw this Soundwave, I was like, oh, you got Ravage. I had to grab it, and so I decided to pick that since I could not find the one that I wanted.
I was trying to dig out the Marvel
points.
Number 1 with the gatefold, and I couldn't find the dang thing.
So I just went with this modern again because
that's a beautiful cover.
It's a great
little run, that whole little grouping. Yeah.
Wait, so who did it?
Jon Gallagher.
Okay. What else has he done? He's not a name I know.
Yeah, he does this almost like a
the first 3 before that.
Yeah, that's one of the he hasn't done a lot of cover work, but he has that that computer kind of like a.
See, one of those guys all the guys now doing variants like Chew and all of them that were deviant art people, and then all of a sudden everyone went to him for covers.
Yeah. It kind of looks that way. But this Transformer run, there's some good stuff. The Dinobots, I think he did for the 4th one. There's a couple different covers, was pretty good. And I forget what the 3rd one was. Might have been Starscream. I'm not positive.
Well, that's what Shannon Mayer was, and then now look at him.
The deviant art stuff is funny because I did non-sport cards for a while, or I still do, but you'd get the artist sketches and stuff. And I mean, after I think I did it for 5 or 6 years, at a point you realize not only that some of these people are going on, and that's where they're getting their starts is deviant art, and then they get farmed out to these Tops, Upper Deck, to do sketch cards, and then if they can make it there, like Mark Teixeira, Ghost Rider, stuff is what I know from him from at least.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have sketch cards from him that are like art pieces, little pieces of art. I have little pieces of shit from other people. I have a fucking Neil Adams Groot. I pulled a Neil Adams Groot on a. Oh, it's so ridiculous. You know what I have, Mike?
Oh no! Oh
I
no!
have a signed Yoda insert, signed by the voice, signed
Frank
by
Oz?
Frank
yeah,
Oz.
yeah. And then I have a signed. I have a crazy nice Yoda sketch card.
Nice.
I'll show you
That's
next
awesome.
week on Skulls.
Yeah, please show me.
All right, Ben, what do you got for book 2?
Oh, I did step outside the box here. I really did. Can you see it already?
No.
I can see
no.
I can see your Hulk number.
We
I
just
can
hear the
see your
setup.
Hulk number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm more of a fan of the super modern in the very back Saga. What is that? 2019,
Right? No,
he's breaking out
fine.
the.
I thought you were going to go with that Wolverine cover because that John Tyler Christopher was pretty cool.
It's,
All right,
it's
that would
first-
go robot, right?
yeah.
it's-
Oh,
I put it out. I didn't pick it, but it is first Prince Robot, and I do have I have moderns in my collection, not many, but I have like an SS run of Saga.
That's great. I love that. Of course, as when I thought was Peter. That was the first episode we
Yeah.
did. We broke out Saga.
Yeah, for Alien.
Saga was. That's right when I got back in.
And then the Prince TV head or what's his name?
Prince Robot.
Prince
Prince
Robot.
Robot.
The fourth.
Like
or the fifth,
that entire
whatever.
idea is just beautiful. The way Staples drew him.
I agree.
Staples is
I love
ridiculous.
Staples stuff.
So yeah, Saga. I can't even get. That's another show. So this is
Oh.
big too.
Oh, Where's Paul at?
Interesting.
Right. So
Turtles. Man, I wouldn't have
Turtles.
thought it.
right, but then you think Mouser, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, fuck, that's definitely a robot.
no, they are.
Shit, look at that as a robot cover, man.
You got it. I wouldn't have got there, man.
Wow.
Look
Yeah.
at well, you gotta get into the Jamaican Kush sometimes. Eh?
I love that you pulled that Wonder Woman 21 that I showed the other night on Vintage Voice.
I'm
You
just
had to show how nice yours was.
no, yours is nicer. I just want to.
Really?
I just like to show that I do my tastes cross over with everybody. I fucking messaged Chris, however many weeks ago now, Jesus, about the Moon Knight cover, the Marvel fan.
Yeah.
I was like, I like
Oh, it's
it
beautiful.
too. I got it. Like it's just because that like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not just
Yeah.
Golden Age with me. I pick. I mean, this is.
Isn't that why
So-
we all do this stuff, though? I mean, you want to share it. You don't want to just.
That's
I
all
mean,
I
if you
want to
sit
do.
there, how sad would it be if you just sat there in your closet and flipped through your books the whole time?
That's why the whole
Hey,
thing.
I'm in my closet right now. What are you talking about?
I was talking.
No,
to
well,
Stein-
alone,
How are you,
alone,
Mike?
You're with four. You're with
I was
four about
talking
that.
to-
You know what I mean?
Stein and McClay 2 weeks ago on Flipside at the post show, like they shut the cameras off, and I started showing them some books. And was like, I just don't want to show everything off. And they're like, why not? Just start showing. I'm like, all right, but this shit's boring. Like, Hulk's cool,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it goes in the background.
Yeah, Hulk 1, that's boring.
But it is
Solely
boring.
boring.
Like,
Send that over to me then. You know,
You've seen
it'll
it
be less
before,
boring
though,
in
is
my
what he's
house.
saying. You've
It'll
seen
be
it
much less
before.
boring in my house. Yeah,
I will
it's
tell
true.
you this
It's
before I pass the
It's
mic.
true.
Going through my collection in this apocalyptic shelter, whatever's going on in my office. It's like apocalypse shelter by night and tiki hut by day. I don't like all the comics that I used to. It's funny. Like I've definitely hit a point in my collection where, and I think this will just translate into a global comic safari show. You just hit a point where you get tired of stuff and you're like, I've had it, I've owned it.
Oh yeah, all time.
I just did. I can't name a single Silver Age book I own that I'm like, oh, I need to keep this. Like maybe the PGX Hulk because it's PGX and what up?
Yeah,
It'll last
Anyway.
through nuclear winter.
all
This is
right.
a really
Cats.
long episode. Sorry.
Yeah, we're not running on time this one. All right, I went another one outside the box, so I really didn't stick as good with the themes I thought I was, but I apparently don't
Voltron this time?
great robots. What?
Did you go with Voltron this time?
No.
No, that's Mike's third pick. Oh, yes.
I just
He's an android.
He is an android, and
Well,
that is a gorgeous
At least in
book.
the original verse, he was an android. Then he's magical, mystical, something. But when he started out, he was an android. And this is just the best cover of all covers in my mind because it was just my favorite of all the toys. That was the one I wanted. It was amazing. Yeah. And this Graham Cracker number 8 of the Image run. So just
that
amazing.
thing's not easy to find.
No,
I've looked.
It's impossible. It's gonna.
I got this one from Leg, who had gotten 2, and then I was gonna give it to my brother, and he somehow found one outside of Chicago. So I don't have to give it up now.
It's a great book. Do you know how many are printed?
that is.
I want to say it's 500.
You are correct. It's 500, and then you got to factor in that was how many years ago?
This is this is early variant.
That's got to be
early
an
teens?
impossible.
I'm gonna say
I
between
think
10
it's like
between 10 and 12ish, right? Or is it later than that?
2000s.
No,
I think it's
That Image run was early. Like it was.
I think it's earlier than that.
The first Image number 1 is First Invincibles, the preview inside of it. Of
Really?
He-Man. Yeah.
So it's older than I think it is. Shit.
So.
All right.
I did not choose Voltron.
2004.
What do you got?
I know what you thought I chose, and I didn't choose it.
All right. So I'm going with some more Silver Age. I mean, these are probably in Ben's box. I own that still. This is great Century cover there. I love this. I love Captain Marvel. Of course, this is one that saw a huge bump when the Captain Marvel movie was coming out because Carol Danvers' first appearance is in that. This is one that I actually wrote about when I got it because it was one of those eBay lots. Hey, someone lists 50 books and they just put a list on paper. And it's like MSH 13 and MSH 14, and so I was like, I wonder if that is. And for $50, I got this lot of 50 books, and this is one of them. And so I was super stoked. I mean, because it was like some kid getting rid of his dad's collection or something, and he just wanted to sell them all. So I mean, I got like the classic Neil Adams Superman, the one where he's where it says first issue is like a 233. 233.
Oh man.
Some of those classic covers were all part of it, and all of it was just like listed as his like shorthand for every issue. So you had to
you gambled and won, my friend.
I did. I was so excited. Like it. I opened up the box. I was like, "Are you kidding?" Yes. Because the Image is one of those where you probably sit in the where they're just stacked up.
Yeah.
And it's like the stack of books.
You're looking for little corners.
They're all just corners. What is that one? But I love this cover. It's just a great cover. Mike, I know you've written about some of the Captain Marvel covers that came out in this run. These are just so much action, just the way they flow.
Yeah, there's some beautiful covers in there. What's the one with the lava or there's like a planet coming up out of the beautiful.
It's right before it switches, right before Captain Marvel switches his costume.
Love that cover.
But yeah, I love this with fighting the Sentry. Whatever the Sentry, if you don't know, is that robot that the Kree had left behind to protect its like outpost. And it first appears. I think this might be the third appearance of the Sentry because I think Fantastic Four 64, Four 64 is the first appearance, and then I think it appears again when Ronan comes in like issue 66, and then I think this would be right there around the third appearance probably. So it's just a great cover. I love that. Sadly, it's definitely Captain Marvel books are ones that have dropped in price big time. It went from being a $150, $200 book to probably now it's only like a $50 book.
I was going to ask because I got in right at the beginning of that book. Like I think the average cost was like $12 for a mid-grade is what I was into for those.
Yeah.
I had a couple dozen at a point.
Just a couple dozen.
I did.
I know I had a lot I had 3. I'm like, I had a ton.
Yeah, when it came to
I've seen some of those pictures. I don't want to.
I was gonna say, like, I used to take pictures for people because everyone was like, "You're full of shit." I'm like, why would I make that up? Like, I'll tell you.
Would that be the book?
Yeah, like, why the fuck am I like? I found 7 MSH 13s, like, and then, but then at a point, like Chris said, they hit a couple $100. I mean, fuck, some of that Golden Age shit probably came from those.
Yeah, you traded them away.
You know what I mean? That said, I think that's a book that 10 years from now, is still going to be a real.
It'll come back up.
It's one of the few books I regret not holding one back.
Yeah.
That and Edge 2.
Yeah, I kept one.
Yeah. Well, I think you can get them again.
They're going to be good.
I think you can get it again.
Well, I think it's there was such a backlash on that movie, which I like the movie, but there was such a backlash on it that I think when the next movie comes out and if it's quality as well, then I think people will get over it. It's just one of those things that when people they start their petitions and they start arguing, and I mean the main actress had some quotes.
It was
that
also
were not
outside of the
friendly.
movie that had people, riling against it.
I mean, I what you just said, Ben. I had not a bunch. I had 3, and I had a bunch of other peripheral books, and I kept 113 for myself because I said, you know what, I want this book 10 years from now. I'm gonna hold one back. I'll sell the other 2, get rid of all the others. Avenging Spider-Man 9. And all
that Avenging book was crap.
Oh yeah, and like Captain Marvel 18, and like at what point?
Yeah.
That was a while ago, but that is the first or one of the first signs that had me go, oh, we've jumped the shark. Like, we're now calling somebody getting her fucking powers. So now it's Marvel Superheroes 13, Captain Marvel 18, and Miss Marvel 1. I'm out. Like,
yeah, and Avenging 9 because she changes her costume.
That was changes her name.
Yeah. It wasn't.
And then that image on the cover of some review or something like that.
No. The Captain Marvel for the Mohawk.
Yeah.
Oh, the Mohawk.
There's that too. There's that too. But no, the Avenging Spider-Man 9 cover appears on the cover of the summer preview for Marvel that year.
$25 fine, and you're like, what?
Yeah, nonsense. It's the whole Hawkeye Zero costume, Halloween costume shit.
Oh, the cosplay, the
Halloween
costume.
I've sold some of those.
Those were the first images, technically, but it wasn't a preview. It was like in the comic itself.
Yeah.
So,
it was 2 kids walking down the street in
but
costumes.
they're both dressed exactly like Thor or Jane Foster Thor, and
but they're not them.
But you don't know that because you don't ever see them interact again.
So then here's a fucking mind bender. Iron Man 55 isn't the first Thanos.
Well,
because Iron Man, for whoever hasn't read it,
you could have thrown that in here because it's technically an android.
You're right. That's all I was going to say. Like, I almost went back and dug one out, but that's another book I fucking jettisoned, man. I don't have a single copy left.
No.
That and what's that? 55 Avengers 55. That the Ultron book?
54.
55.
Yeah. Okay.
55 is when you actually meet him. 54, he's the Masters of Evil.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but that's another fucking hot potato nonsense book.
All right. Off the diatribe. And I'm going to mix it up and go in order this time. One more time. Mike, you're up.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm going to go in order.
Ben, I was on your wavelength. Exactly the same.
Oh, shit.
Toy, number 1.
Nice.
Yeah, see, I don't have – that's a nice book. I don't have that.
Got that.
So, it's a fucking great cover.
It is a great cover. It is so Eastman Laird. It just you could see it from across the freaking street.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I mean, isn't it like whatever the guy's name is, Dr. Honeycutt or whatever it is? He transfers his consciousness into his gardening droid. Is that? I think that's something like that. And then this continues into TMNT 5. Of course, the first appearance of the character is Gobbledygook, which is just a photocopied thing from Mirage that no one's ever going to know whether you have a real one or not. But so I went with this because I love the cover. So it is sad because no one will ever. I don't know how you would ever tell if you have a real one.
I believe that people can. I believe that CGC plays a little too much of that. Oh, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to be responsible. Like, we're not calling it. Like, bullshit. You can tell the difference. I have a fucking graphic fantasy. I can tell the difference between it and I know it's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, I've got that.
there's slabbed gobbledygook
The
for
New
the
England-
record too. Like CGC did grade some. They
That New
stopped.
England. Yeah, that New England that you have, John. I mean, that's a newsprint thing. I mean, that could have been reproduced pretty easily if.
In my basement.
It's pretty. I think the New England one's pretty obvious.
Well,
though.
I've got that Tick ash can that really is just photocopy paper with a gold photocopy cover.
That's literally
Right.
what he said.
So,
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Peter, you're going to get us back on track because we're spinning
I
out of
can
control.
try to get us
quickly.
back on track, but
Sorry.
this one, I mean, I don't know if it's going to cause any discussion because it's not technically a comic book, but it is the first thing I thought of when we called robots. And this is
Oh, I
heavy
thought
metal.
about that same one. I love that
Heavy
cover.
metal
Metal.
because
Nice.
I found this
Yeah.
at the flea market for $2, and I just loved it. And
I looked and hoped I had one, and I didn't. So I'm glad I didn't
so
have
I
it.
picked this. It's a November 1980. I think it's Volume 4, Number 8. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna brutalize this name. Is it Hajime Soriyama? I don't know if I'm saying it right, but that cover is just awesome. So
It
when
is.
Robot was called, I thought of this and I was like, I won't use it if I can find a better book, but
You couldn't.
I decided to use it.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome. I love that. I wanted to choose that. I thought I had one in my box, and I didn't have one. So we almost doubled up because I would
Yeah,
have.
I
definitely would have.
when I bought that at the flea market, I bought 2. I flipped one and kept the better copy.
None of
I
us
was just going to
have
ask you.
None of us have went with a book we don't have yet. So
I finally got heavy metals in the mail today that I ordered 3 months ago.
yeah, they're not
Nice.
always fast. They're like a surprise when they show up.
They were in that sale.
Yeah.
So I bought 5. I thought I bought 10 of each, but I only bought 5 of each. $2.90.
The Frazetta.
Let's say which one was that?
That's the,
$2.90.
is that the Frazetta cover?
First Peach Momoko work.
I bought some of those Hebe Brantley ones. Maybe at 98, 298, something.
The purple
Oh.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a stack of those too. But this
Street Artist one?
yes.
Yeah, the Street
This
Artist.
design
That's
is
the
very
one in Midtown
long
had that sale. I put it in Dollar Bin Digging last week.
as a gamble. Yeah. I think this.
That's
I
beautiful.
don't think this is a gamble. I think this is a $50 magazine. 6 months from now.
Yeah.
Go, honest to God, go find 250 through 290. Or no, through 285. Any of those numbered ones, once they stopped being volume and they went back to legacy number or whatever for the I mean, yeah, shit. What's these?
Any of that stuff's tough because, I mean, what is it, $10 cover these days? Oh, yeah, the art germ.
Yeah.
These?
Yeah.
Like, I moved. Yeah, man. I don't know. I bought a bunch for $2 a pop, and like, I moved. Like, look at this.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, what a
Getting
great.
down a heavy metal rabbit hole.
Like, but they're all like $30-$40 because you just can't find them.
No, they aren't there.
So,
All right. So what'd you pick for book 3, Ben?
me?
Yep.
I went with the obvious.
Did you go with the big boy?
Oh, did you go with the one I think you went with? Oh no.
So I don't want to ruin anybody's pick, so I will say what I was. I almost went with this, but I thought between the 5 of us, somebody was going to go with Frizen, so I didn't. I mean, honestly, I would have gone with this fucking thing anyway. So.
Very nice. What issue is that?
What? It's issue 1. It's from 1941.
That's not what I thought you were going to pull out.
No.
Now I'm curious what you guys were thinking.
I was thinking you were going to pull you're going to pull the Schomburg.
Yeah. He's like,
I don't
God
know.
damn it! I forgot I had it.
With Schomburg.
with the robot carrying the girl out of the water.
The
Oh,
Bender.
the Startling 49.
Startling 49, yeah.
I don't have that shit. It's on my wall, like as I want that book next to a thing of Detective 31 and a Wonder Woman one and an Archie one. And more fun that I actually have.
Is your vision board?
It's this weird, like, so this LCS used to have these oversized, like, this is a Golden Age book, so they were like this tall. They looked like thin movie posters, but they were all classic covers on, like, super high res. Hold on.
Yeah, we lost him again.
Oh man, he's.
Oh no.
We need to
What are
tether
you
him.
coming back with now?
Oh, those are nice. Okay.
Oh.
They are. So, right? Like, but, like, the quality on them.
Yeah, it's better than just a photocopy.
Right.
Okay.
Like, so they would have, like, some stupid fucking number, like $10 or something. So I brought, like, 30 or 40 of them up with me one time and was like, can I have these with what I'm buying? And the kid working was like, okay. So
Huh.
I decorated my office. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, like, you just got to make friends with, like, managers and owners and, like,
Spend
just be
enough money.
nice to people.
Yeah, you definitely do. That's the key.
You know what I mean? Yeah, this is also the first appearance of Tarantula.
Huh.
So can't make this shit up. John Law. First appearance, John Law, aka Tarantula. There's a lot more history there. It
Not
goes
the
into
Spider-Man villain.
No. This is so stupid. This is like why DC Comics existed back in the 40s. He connected to the original Sandman somehow, and then the original Sandman didn't like the costume he had, so he threw it out. Like, this is the writers wrote this. Like,
I don't like your outfit. Throw it
John
away.
Law found it and became the Tarantula, and like it lasted. He's in like 180 something issues. That's a lot of issues, man. Anyway,
All right.
that
So-
was my.
Ben, are you torturing people in your basement now? All right. I went back to the well that keeps giving, and I actually am mad I didn't do one for one of the episodes. So I went back to the non-canon run because it just has all kinds of
Did you
goodness.
go with the non-canon Spideys.
Because you guys keep naming stuff, and I'm like, well, I got one of those.
I looked that up. I was like very impressed. I was hoping you
166.
put that one.
166. You can't argue that's not a fantastic
Is that
robot
signed?
cover.
It's like a
So-
freaking toy robot. That's
It looks
awesome.
like it. Is that a signed copy?
Yeah, it is a Duran sign.
Nothing.
Well, I don't know. I picked up some from a guy. So, yeah, I mean, this is a classic robot cover to me. So I went with it.
Yeah, I love
It
it.
absolutely is.
I mean,
Is that like an insect or something, or a locust at the bottom?
I'm guessing it's an alien that looks like an insect
Okay.
that brought his terrible robot to destroy people.
It looks like one of those like toy robots where you press a button and it shoots out the little disc.
It 100%.
Well, now you got to keep going with the non-canon Spideys now for every category we would pick.
But I skipped one, and I'm kind of sad. What I skip? Moon. I probably could have found something. I should have done it. God.
I let the uncanny run out because I got shot down on my rogue. You guys still don't.
I was just setting you up so I would be able to slide in with my sentinels. So,
All right, Chris, finish us off. What do you got?
all right. So this is one that actually surprised me that it's maintained its value since it shot
nice.
up. This is the My Greatest Adventure number 80. It's the first appearance of the Doom Patrol, and down here you have Mr. Robot down here, but he's actually not not Robot Man. But right now his name is Automaton or something. It's not till like issue the third time he appears that they call him Robot Man. But it's picked it up for $20 just before all the
Nice.
TV show news hit.
That was a
And-
deal then.
oh,
All right,
I-
thank you. I was going to say that.
That
I mean, I looked it up. I mean, it's not great quality, but it was probably $20. I'm like, that's $100 book easy.
Yeah,
when I bought it.
So
that book is. I mean, I sold mine because they hyped up, but I looked for that forever, and I think I found 2 copies in like years. And this was before like they talked about a show before anything. I was looking just because I have an odd obsession with all things odd, and
Yes,
Yeah.
that and House 61.
yeah, I couldn't find them.
And
I mean,
Animal Man.
they just
these
weren't
are-
there.
My Great Adventures those are the DC books you flip over and you skip. and they're those not the dollar boxes, but one time they're dollar boxes. Now they're $5 boxes, and you're like they're torn to shreds. I very seldom do I ever see a nice copy of anything My Greatest Adventures.
No,
Like,
they're almost impossible above like very good.
But 20, like I'd buy Sight Unseen for 20. It could be.
I was. Well, I mean, Mike knows the store I scored this at. This is our used bookstore that that was a high price for a book they normally throw up there because they don't care. They paid nickels and dimes for the book.
I got you.
And
so
they
looks
just buy
old.
bulk. So they're like, hey, that's what he does. He looks at the prices
Exactly.
and then he'll look up occasionally. So he must have looked it up and go, huh? One of these sold for $50. I'll put it at 20. I bet it'll sell. I mean, but then we've been there and he's had was the one that cracked me up was a Spawn #1 graded 9.2. He had for $150 because it was in a graded case. And I was just like, you put this one, and then I can buy My Great Adventures, or we can find copies of I think I've seen 4 Black Panthers #1s appear for the 70s issues. Have been $3.
I got this. I got this there.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I almost went with that tonight too, but I got this in that same case. It's like $20.
Yeah.
Okay.
All day long.
I'll take that for $20. Yeah, all day long. I didn't go with it tonight. I almost did.
DC is grossly undervalued.
Oh yeah.
And how much DC it not coming back down is a testament to how long it was undervalued.
Yeah.
Because undervalued books don't come back down. Doctor Strange is another good example of books that went way the fuck up and then came way the fuck down.
Yeah. And these they just needed a little push to go, oh, yeah, we should be buying those.
Z, for years.
A reminder.
For years, Z and I, that's all we would talk about. Mm-hmm. Adventure 210, Adventure 247, My Greatest 81, House 61, Strange 187. I could just keep going.
Yeah, there was a lot of those DC things. We're like, what?
Eclipso, Brave and the Bold 34, Shadow Thief, House 61's Eclipso.
Strange Adventures is Animal Man, right?
Yeah. But it's too late and all that. Animal Man and all those now. I think House 61 still has
a little room.
Oh Christ, that book.
All right, gentlemen. So
I have 12.
We all hit the basic points. Who had the wow factor tonight?
how the fuck I'm confused. I like Peter's second pick.
Oh, the variant, the Transformers variant.
I really, really, really dig that book.
Beautiful cover.
It is a good cover.
Yeah, and just bring something I hadn't seen. I hadn't seen any of those.
That was a backup because I couldn't find the one I wanted.
See, I would have given you the win for the heavy metal.
Yeah.
All right, so it sounds like Peter's got the win tonight because he went outside the box a couple times.
Yeah, my weirdo books. $1 bin digging or $2 in this case. I'll take it.
$2 whole dollars.
Let's make a second category for $2 bin digging.
I love the guy had a stack of heavy metals and epics, and I asked him how much for them. He was like, $2 each.
I'd let you call that $1 bin book at $2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we going to do?
It's a magazine.
Let's do Skulls next.
Oh,
like that.
Ben's going to kill us.
Skulls. Ooh.
Skulls, not skeletons.
Oh, I already feel the loss.
All right, Ben.
Deep.
I just want to say thank you all for coming on another night. Thank everybody for joining us. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel. Leave some comments. If you got some ideas for categories, throw them in the comments. We'll
absolutely
we'll consider them and see what we can come up with.
Yeah, we need ideas. We have a few, but we can always take more.
So again, check out comicbookinvest.com while we're on the comic hiatus. All kinds of good stuff there. Just do some learning while you're there. Learn some history. Learn some. Go back and read $20 bin digging articles, and you'll have plenty of stuff to go looking for when the shop's open. So, thank you all, and we'll see you again next week.
See you guys.